Welcome back to another Texas Chain Saw Massacre the game video. It's been a minute since we've been in the diner. We're back in the diner.
Yeah,
it's nice.
We got hungry.
Yeah, it was under construction.
Yeah.
That's what took us so long to come back. But now we're back in the booth, back in the diner booth. There's so much on this set that you guys don't even see. Yeah. Like a lot of effort into decorations that you can't see. There's a Pac-Man machine here. At least that's kind of in frame now. But like there's signs and autographs and yeah, you're never gonna see them.
Nope.
Shame. It's been a minute since we've done a patch review. One, because it's been a minute since there's been a patch.
Yeah.
Like the last patch before this, last update in general, December 12th. And that was just, bare bones, as close to a hot fix patch as you can be.
Yeah.
For that, November 28th. That was the day Nancy's house came out. And since then, the game has been not a good spot. All right. You have the OP Danny that got adjusted with this patch, but he sat there for 3 months, basically just broken, just insanely overpowered. And then you had Poison Claws. You had the lobby simulator experience, how bad that was. There was just a lot of things that were broken that sat there for a long time. Holidays will do that to you. The industry basically just shuts down during the holidays. It still sucks. There's no denying that the last few months here has been a little brutal.
Yeah.
A little hard. There was a burnout moment where I'm like, I can't play this right now. I'm actually dying.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was rough. Especially if you want to play Victim at all. It was like, this sucks. You just sit there for 20 minutes to maybe play a game.
Maybe.
And then die in like 60 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it was. But all right. New update came out, 150 plus changes. Some of those are literally like, we fixed a typo.
Well, yeah, Nancy's glasses reflect properly on low settings. That's fix number 2. Like,
yeah.
Okay, I get it. Yeah, it was a fix. Yeah. But you'd be like, we got 150 fixes. They were all typos. Gotcha.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like, I hate to say the phrase saving face, but it is kind of like, they release some Rantho Times. There's 150 plus fixes. We got them typos.
Yeah.
5 months later, we got them. It's just one of those things. It's like, all right, that's just being a nitpicky asshole.
Yeah, which we are.
It's just kind of, when it rains, it pours, this game. Yeah. I'm tired of being the nitpicky asshole. I still try to be constructive with this game. But it's just like, when it rains, it pours, man. And things just keep coming. But we're not really going over any of the fixes. None of the fixes stand out so much where you're like, oh, that's worth really diving into. It's so much better now that they fixed it. There's a couple things. The attribute point changes, that was a fix. The stealth fix.
Right.
It ultimately comes off as a stealth nerf. And then there's reports of people saying, we've been debating on this, whether or not we see the same thing, but attributes in general feel different.
Yeah.
I thought it felt like my stamina was coming back slower.
Absolutely, yeah. And as max toughness Ana, I definitely feel like I'm getting
pooped on a little bit more.
Yeah, could be a skill issue.
Could be a skill issue.
But yeah, I feel like I'm definitely taking less hits than I did before.
Yeah, I feel like when I play Leland, I've never used Choose Flight in Leland ever. Never have done it. I've always been without it. So I was like, oh, I'm good. I'd be fine. But my endurance felt like it was coming back so slow that I was feeling the effects of the lack of Choose Flight on a character I don't use Choose Flight on. It was weird.
Yeah, being chased with any characters definitely feels like, stamina. I don't know if it depletes any quicker, maybe a little bit, but getting their stamina back, I feel like takes a lot longer than it did. Yeah,
it could all be in our heads. I don't know.
Because
I'm sure they'll say that they didn't do anything to it. But you never know.
Right.
I don't know. The stealth nerf. I'm not a big stealth guy. I don't put a lot of points in the stealth. I don't rush meta per se here sometimes, but I go. I'm the distraction guy, so I never really get the advantage of using stealth.
Mm-hmm.
I totally understand why people use it. I just don't personally use it, so I have no idea how bad that fix nerf, the fix that feels like a nerf is.
Right.
But I see a lot of people complaining about it, so take that as you will. But I cannot voice my opinion on it. But what I can voice my opinion on is the lobby timer and how this update in that regard saved this game. Like, That was the worst thing. That Danny was OP. There was the, you know, whatever you don't like. The Leatherface overhead hits one-shotting you, or this, that, with Hitchhiker, Wireframe, Scout, Butterfly catching Johnny. There's a lot of things in this game that need to be adjusted. This was the one that was so bad that I was like, I don't even want to play anymore.
Yeah.
And this did it, at least so far. You know, you never know, because the player base might come down a little bit after a week or so of the update being out.
Right.
But you search for a game, you get into a game, and then you play the game. The lobbies don't break anymore.
Really rare for it to break.
Yeah, there is a bug. Technically, I think it's like if more than 5 people ready up and one unreadies after a player leaves. So if it's like a 6-man lobby, the 6-man unreadies, it will then reset the clock to 90 seconds because the clock's there. It's just invisible.
Mm-hmm.
It'll reset that. If that hits 0 again, the lobby will still close. So it's just like, it has to be a perfect scenario for it to happen, but it still can happen.
Right. It hasn't happened to us.
No, not once. Have not had a single lobby break since this patch came out.
We were looking at some other streams and we did see it.
Yeah. Nick Nasty, shout out.
Yeah, he got one.
Yeah, he got the bug, but it's really rare. It doesn't happen too often, and I'm sure that is something they can fix in the next update.
Yeah.
But I see a lot of people freaking out about the fact, like, oh, they didn't even do anything. The timer's it's still there. It's just invisible. Yes, I'm just thinking from like a programming standpoint. I'm no programmer, all right, but doesn't it make sense that to just take the system you already have implemented, hide the timer, add 100 minutes to it, make it like an hour-long timer, and then have how many players are in the lobby or how many people are ready up, adjust how it behaves.
Mm-hmm.
So that way it doesn't break. You know, it's not counting down to 0 unless you sit there for an hour somehow, which is never going to happen.
No.
So yeah, like that makes the most sense. It works. What they did works. There is no reason to be clowning on them for just hiding the clock.
No.
They did it. They saved the game.
I mean, how much have we streamed this week? And yeah, literally a lobby never closed.
Yeah, it's like 20 hours. 20 hours plus.
There were 2 or 3 times we sat for 5 minutes, but it filled.
Yeah. That's what I've been saying from the get-go. Like, yes, the queue times for victims, it is longer. There are less family players, so when a family member leaves, it takes a long time to fill. But if there's no timer to end that lobby and reset your queue, it will fill. And then you'll play.
Right. Yeah. I think people just forget how bad it just was. You know, you would search for 2.5 minutes, get put into a lobby as a victim player, get put in a lobby, a family member will leave. You sit there for 4 minutes and 35 seconds. Mm-hmm. A family member joins. All right, cool. We're going to play. Oh, they left.
And then it resets again.
Resets again. You sit there for 3 minutes and then, oh, someone joined. Oh, they left.
Yeah.
They don't want to play with a level 1 Leatherface and a level 5 Johnny.
Yeah, whatever it may be.
Yeah. These games are starting now. They're happening. The lobbies don't end. So then after the lobby would end, you'd get kicked back to the main menu and start it all over. Yeah. You don't have to do that no more.
Now you will play that game eventually.
Yeah.
And that is just, that alone, just being able to play, like I can bitch all day about things that need buff, nerf, this, that. But if I'm playing the game, I'm way happier than I ever will be sitting in the damn lobby.
Yeah. So
that's huge to me. Like that alone makes this update better than it is bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's gooder.
If you will.
Gooder, if you will. It is a more positive update to me than it is a negative.
Yeah.
There are negatives. We'll talk about them. But there are more positives to me than negatives. With that alone is just a huge weight off the shoulders.
You can play.
You can play. That's wonderful. You get home from work, you can play.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the grapple. We're just going in order here. What the patch notes are. They changed the grappling. Now, you do not get instantly killed if you're a victim and you get in a close encounter with a family member. You don't get instantly killed. You instead take what they're calling chip damage, where you will sit there in the grapple and get hit and hit and hit over and over again until you win or lose the close encounter, and that's it. So if they do enough chip damage to you and lower your health all the way down, it is still a kill. But if not, you get away unscathed.
Yeah.
Well, you took damage, but yeah, you get away. So you can go on and do it again. Now, on paper, that doesn't sound too bad. How I just described it doesn't sound too bad.
No.
You can still hit the hell out of victims. You're fine. You should be able to make that happen. The problem is, when you have perks like Empowered, that give you basically all your health back and your stamina back. If you're doing that against a team that doesn't have Leatherface, it is even with Leatherface, depending on what your build is, it's disgusting. You can run it forever.
Yeah, those Annas.
Yeah,
they
Ana and Leland mains. Whether it's running Grappler or it's really Empowered. Empowered does the damage. Getting all that health back, the risk to doing close encounters now is so low that it has. I don't know. It's just it's not even remotely scary to do them anymore.
No,
like I was doing it all day as Leland, man. Just in the pack, you can have all 3 family members there, and I'll go ahead and get in a close encounter, and I'll still get away. Mm-hmm. And it's just, I don't know. I think the change that I would have wanted to see, because I agree that there were some grappling issues with the close encounter. Like when you win, that should be it.
Yeah, like you win, you pull Johnny's ears, you throw him away, you stand there for a sec, and then you get hit, you were insta-dead. Yeah. Even though you won the close encounter a good 8 seconds ago.
Yeah, I think in general what they should, because like that's the thing. If you grapple with Johnny, the risk is way higher because even if you win, you still gotta punch him, you gotta pull his ears, wait all that time, and then as you release him, you're still stuck in an animation. That whole time you can be instant killed. That was dumb. I think all of the close encounters should be some sort of quick jab getaway.
Yeah.
And then the second you win, that immunity goes or the instant kill goes away. The second it says close encounter 1, done. No longer can get instant killed. But until that moment, I think you should be able to get instant killed because that's the risk you're taking.
Right.
You shouldn't want to touch them. They're the killers. They have weapons. They want to kill you. They are trying to actively kill you. That's the point. They're supposed to be scary. So you want to battle them? You want to get in their face and grapple with them? That should be a huge risk. And now it's just not anymore.
Close encounters are supposed to be last resort.
Last resort, yeah.
And they're just not. And with perks like Empower, some people were posting on the subreddit saying games were lasting like 55 minutes.
Yeah. There was somebody I saw a clip that over an hour they did it with Ana.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They were the last alive, didn't matter.
Yeah.
Their health regenerated every time. They may have used every bone scrap on the map because the bone scrap piles are, limited. But imagine if they never limited the bone scrap piles. They'd still be playing that game today.
And now there's an argument to not have them as limited anymore because of the Bomb Squad nerf. We'll talk about that. So yeah, it's a change that it needs to be changed, but to go as far as this, where you can just stand there and take damage all day with toughness builds and empowered, and it's not right.
It ain't.
It's not. I play a lot of Victim. Actually, by the way, I know there's Victim mains already screaming right now. You're only saying that because you're a family main. I actually prefer playing Victim. I could play Victim way more than I can play Family, but we play both.
Yeah, come into the stream sometime.
Yeah.
Quick match. We play quick match.
Only quick
all
match.
Day.
Yeah, and then it's funny because we'll get people that say, you're only saying that because you're a Victim main, and then we'll have other people say, you're only saying that because you're a Family main. Like, no, I play both, which I think is required to get the perspective needed to criticize the game in a way that makes sense. And on both sides of this grapple change, I see the problem.
Yeah.
I see it when it got abused against us when we're playing Family. I saw it when I abused it against people that were playing Family. And it's one thing to have players that are experienced like us, because eventually we will counter it.
Yeah.
All right. Like okay, you want to be a tough grapple guy? I'm going to go kill your teammates. All right. I'm going to get them out of here. And then eventually we'll isolate. We'll have all 3 go on you and we will get you.
You're going to run out of bone scrapes.
Yeah. And then once you're when you're the last one alive, we're going to get you eventually. Right. What if you're solo queuing? What if you're a new player and you don't understand how perks like Empowered and the grappling works? Do you know how many times even now I see posts, they're saying, is it even possible to win a close encounter as Family? Yeah, it is. There's ways to do it, but the changes like this, I think, it's adding to that brutal experience of playing Family, especially as a new player.
Yeah. And there's a lot of new players.
Yeah, especially right now. Yeah,
I mean, we streamed for 12 hours on patch day.
Yeah,
and the amount of low level players we were playing, Leatherfaces that didn't know how to turn their chainsaw on.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah, it's tough with stuff like this because it's just going to make it harder on them. But at the same time, the other way around, if you're a new player and you try a close encounter, which most don't, most are scared shitless to even get close to anybody.
Right.
But you try to grapple with somebody and you instantly die, that can be frustrating too. Just like I said, just make the animations way shorter than you do when a close encounter, and that's it. Once you win, you're good. To me, you can add fucking iframes for all I care after a close encounter win. That's the only part that's dumb. Like, you did it. You won the close encounter. You engaged with it. You should be good now. You shouldn't be able to get insta-killed anymore.
Yeah.
But in the middle of it, when you haven't won yet, that's on you.
And they are counterable. A lot of people saying, "Oh, just run Leatherface, get the big hit while they're in the close encounter." And
but on top of that, though, you have to have a very specific Leatherface build.
Mhm.
You have to hope they have no health, and then even if you hit the big hit and don't get the follow up in time, they got all the health back from Empowered.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it is technically possible with a good Leatherface and a good build, but it's still. And you got to be there. You got to get there in time with Leatherface,
Right. Well, the other night, I was on and I got in a close encounter. I was scared. I was real scared. I got in a close encounter. I was not running this build. That's
the
not how my
build.
Yeah, that is not how my tree is set up. But I heard Leatherface coming with a big swing. So I'm pulling Johnny's ears. I'm spamming my ability. I'm like, please, 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 please. I took a step back, pressing my ability. Insta died because he had a big swing. I had a lot of health too, but like, you can't activate your abilities. You can't shoulder out of you're stuck in that animation and you're still vulnerable and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, I don't know if they made the Johnny one longer on purpose because he's like a big brute guy, so it should be harder. I don't know what it is. Just make it harder to win the encounter. You don't need to make the fucking animation longer.
Right.
Everything should be like a quick jab getaway. Honest to God, every single one, kick to the crotch. I'm cool with it. I want the Nancy Cooter kick on every single one.
Huh.
And then just get out of there. Why does it have to be so long? That's where it was shitty. So I don't know. Yeah, this is a massive change.
Right.
So to revert it back so quickly, I don't know.
And the patch has been out for 4 days.
Yeah.
Maybe by next week.
It did take a solid 2 hours for Ana mains to figure it out.
They sure did.
It's only good. You look at the metas now that you already know. Every game you're seeing, Violent, Leatherface, Scout, Violent, Hysterical Strength. You're seeing that every game. You're seeing Hitchhiker with Scout, Wireframe, and Fired Up. You're seeing it every game, these metas. That meta is going to get figured out when it comes to Empowered and bullying the family with Close Encounters. Yep. It's going to be on every goddamn YouTube channel. It's going to be on everyone's build, and it's going to be abused in every game. It's going to happen. It's gonna let's get on top of it now because it's gonna fucking happen. You know it is.
Welcome to the grapple era of Texas Chain Saw Massacre, the game.
Yeah, we have moved out of the attitude era, and we're officially in the grapple era.
True.
Yeah, that's the next era of WWE.
That's right.
Moving on from the grapple rant discussion, whatever review. It's not quite there, but we'll get there someday. I can feel it. Let's talk about Danny. Danny's change. The big part of Danny's change is that now, when you study something, you cannot tamper that item. If you were to study an objective and get the knowledge from that objective, you will no longer be able to tamper it.
Right. Because that makes sense. You studied it. You learned everything you could about it. You can't tamper it. You don't know how.
Yeah, I guess logically, it doesn't make much sense. No. But it was a way to slow down what was happening with Danny.
Oh, absolutely.
Because what was happening with Danny, you would inspect, a handful of things in the basement, run up, valve handle, valve, pop. Inspect the valve, tamper, done. Yep. You could do it in less than a minute. It was wild.
Those clips were crazy.
Yeah, it was wild. It hurt my feelings. It never made sense.
No.
Now, I was worried that this wouldn't be a very effective change because, you could just, let's say you're at Nancy's house and you could just go inspect the gen, get the same amount of knowledge from it, and then just apply it to the valve still. I don't know if that's going to get figured out. I think a lot of people just don't realize the change that happened with Danny, and they were inspecting things and unable to tamper them and didn't realize it.
Right.
So we'll see how this evolves over the next week or so, maybe a little bit more. But right now, Danny was not a problem. I don't think a Danny tampered a single thing on us in the last 20 hours of gameplay that we've had.
And honestly, how many Dannies did we even really go against? People aren't running them anymore.
Yeah. I don't know if it's because he fell out of meta as a result of the nerf, or it's just that many new players.
Right.
I don't know. But when I was playing him, I played him as well just to see how it was. I did manage to tamper a fuse once, but it was not using a lot of my knowledge. It was actually playing the mini game, and the family just missed me. So
yeah,
it's hard to say. Where I don't think it's that change that made a big difference, the unable to inspect and tamper the same thing, they made it where you have to fill up your entire meter of knowledge to do a full-on tamper. And to get knowledge, you get more knowledge from items than you used to, but it felt like it took forever. And it felt like it was taking me a while. And if you're not on Nancy's house, and you can't just go grab the generator real quick to get knowledge, you have to open the fuse box to get knowledge. So you have to do that still, and then you could apply to the fuse, or the valve, or then I guess you could inspect the valve and then apply it to the fuse, whatever order you do it in. It just wasn't as realistic as it was before.
No,
that's for sure. So that was the part I felt like did the most work. It was harder to get enough knowledge to pull it off. And you also had to watch the whole animation now of the tamper.
Yep.
That was big. Like I was actually like confused how long it was taking. I applied my knowledge late. I did half the game and then I applied my knowledge and then just sitting there going, I'm like, come on. Yeah, so that's a huge change.
Yeah.
So honestly, unless something changes and people figure out a new meta with Danny and it gets more hectic, I think he's fine.
Yeah,
it was an effective nerf, and I didn't expect it to be. So that's good.
Right. And who knows? It could change next week. People starting to figure him out. They could tweak him a little bit. We could get this new map, the Mill, and maybe there's a unique escape on there that Danny will work really well with.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows how will his knowledge apply to whatever unique escape? If there's not a unique escape in the next map, all the guns DMs are going to hear or feel my wrath. And this guy would never DM them shit. I'll just make a video on it. But yeah, I would love to see a new escape for sure. But
knowledge was power.
Yeah.
And now it's just a theory. A game theory.
It is nerfed enough where I'm a little worried about the reaction of people. I haven't seen too much of it, but
I've seen plenty.
The pay to win is
make them overpowered, so people pay for them, and then nerf them to oblivion. Took the money and ran.
Yeah, that this is where a public test build like Dead by Daylight does would be very nice. Because you could have figured that out ahead of time. And yes, there would still be people that bought it because of what they experienced in the PTB, but you would be clear about how much you're nerfing him ahead of time before you're actually able to buy him. Because now it's not like you're going to get a refund.
No.
Like you're tough. I don't really care because I would prefer to have a balanced character like him.
Right.
And he's got good attributes too. Let's not forget that. It'd be nice to have a balanced character like what we kind of have now, versus having whatever the fuck that was before. the just absolutely busted character.
1 minute, 4-person escape, valve tapered, done.
Yeah. So I'm not
1 minute.
I'm not mad at this nerf. It needed to happen, but let's figure it out ahead of time. QA team that got the shout out in the patch notes, whose name I already forgot. I'm really sorry off the top of my head. But they're in the credits now. So let's figure that out ahead of time next time. Let's shut that shit down.
It's tough because QA teams don't play like the community does.
No, 100%. Like this is probably going to happen again. Hopefully not to this degree, like what Danny was. But yeah, this is probably like every time a new character comes out, they're probably going to come out OP because a QA team that you hire, like a third-party QA team, is never going to play like your community does. So they would have to get to the point where they actually catch the shit ahead of time in full fashion. They would have to do a PTB.
Right. I understand limited funds, but there has to be a way. They're partnered with Microsoft and Xbox. Are on Game Pass. How can you get into what is it called? Is it the Xbox Insiders? You do a beta in there. Do a beta branch in there.
Honestly,
you get a handful there.
I don't think it's the price is one thing. Like, yeah, you have to pay for the servers and the build, and you're paying. Yeah, sure. I'm sure it's not cheap.
Right.
Where I think it's tough is it already seems pretty clear to me that Sumo is struggling to keep up. They're struggling to keep up with whether it's the balance changes, the content that's needed to be released, et cetera, et cetera. It seems like Nottingham is really like struggling to keep up with that. And if you have them devote to making a whole other build of the game designed for a PTB, that's just one more delay in content you're going to get.
Right.
And they're just not in a position right now where they can afford any more delays in content.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You would need more people to work on the game. And I don't know how easy that is to make happen.
Bring in another branch of Sumo, maybe? Another location?
On paper, that makes sense, right? Like, Sumo's not just Nottingham. So
right, and two guys sitting in their basement can say that all day.
Yeah, just go hire another team.
Just go bring more people in.
Yeah, just completely increase your
hire more people.
Because if you... Because, like, in theory, they'd have to double their per diem per month to make that happen. Right. And that's like, I don't know how much money the game's making. I don't know how much servers cost right now. I don't know how well Nancy and Danny sold.
Right.
I know I see a lot of them bitches. I know I see a lot of Nicotero Leatherfaces out there. So they probably
I thought
made
no
a
one
couple
was going to buy
bucks.
that. I thought no one was buying it. I thought the price was too high.
Everyone's full of shit. Everyone says they're going to uninstall because of this and that, or I'm going to fight for a refund.
Do you know how many times we say we're going to uninstall
every day
in a 6-hour period stream?
One of these days I'm going to do it, and then I'm just going to reinstall it the next day. But
I think I need to reinstall my game. My game's broken, dude.
Well, yeah, you have a TCM curse. I don't know what's wrong with you.
On Xbox and PlayStation, I get stuck everywhere in random places. I look at the patch notes. I'm like, no one's having these issues, man.
Literally nobody. You have had shit happen to you that I've only seen happen to you.
I get stuck behind barge doors. I get stuck on ladders. I get stuck in corners.
Yeah, like you got stuck in a bush that one day. A fucking open bush. You were stuck in the bush. I'm like, what are you doing, man?
I'm like, hey, maybe that's just PlayStation. Nope, I go on Xbox because PlayStation was down all day on patch day. Mm-hmm. We go on Xbox, I get stuck there too.
Yeah, and speaking of which, we have not talked about that elephant in the room. That they fucked that up.
To be honest, I forgot. How? Yeah, I forgot. No, I didn't. No one. Everyone remembers that, man.
Yeah, and it sucks because this is what I said at the beginning of the video. When it rains, it pours with this game. And like that was one of those things that happened. And the update, for those that don't know, the update literally just it broke PS5. It broke the PS5 version of the game. It was not playable for about...
It was like 20 hours.
Right about 20 hours. And it was like, Jesus, the first update in 3 months? And that's...
Just bricked.
It just breaks everything?
Just bricked.
That was rough, man. And that was a when it rains, it pours moment. Who knows whose fault it was? You instantly, because the game's already had its issues and you're already mad, like you're already a passionate, angry fan probably. Yep. And you're like, God damn it, these incompetent devs. Like you start talking shit about Sumo or Gun or whatever. But that 100% could be Sony's fault.
Could be.
No idea. We're never going to know. We do know they tweeted out that they're working with the partners at Sony. And who knows? Right. Who knows what caused it? It just sucks that it's always... It's just one thing after another with this game, and for that to just be piled on top of the like I'm already pissed off tree here, it sucks. So yeah, that was brutal. That was brutal to not be able to play on PS5. And then I luckily we had the luxury of being able to jump to Xbox. We have both consoles, or we could have even done PC if that was the case. For those that don't, which is a lot of people. Like most people buy one console and they stick with one console. They don't run around multiple. They just couldn't play what was probably their favorite game at the time. They're very excited to check out that new update
after months.
Yeah.
They hopped in that stream in January. Oh shit, January 6th. Take off work. I'll be sick from school. Circle it on the calendar.
I'll be sick from school.
Hey,
maybe
those Call of Duty days,
man.
Yeah,
sure.
I was sick every Call of Duty release day. I'll tell you what.
That's a release date, not a fucking patch. There's a difference. I'm sure somebody took off work or called in sick on that.
I took off work
on that patch day.
I took off work.
I technically did.
But yeah, you circle it on the calendar. You've been looking forward to it. How many months has it been? And you can't play. You update the game. You get your snacks and your drink ready.
Yeah,
can't play.
And then you even boot it up. You get the scroll,
loading,
and then crash. And then you keep trying. It's like, it's a login error. There's so many people trying to log in, and then your whole PS5 crashes if you did it too many times in a row. It would freeze your whole PS5. Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah,
that was a brutal one. And like when it rains, it pours. When it rains, it pours. And that just did not help the scenario at all. But they fixed it. It is playable. There's something still a little jank about the PS5 version. It was like the servers, or I don't know. It was constant rubber banding over there. Issues we were not having on Xbox, we were having on PS5.
Lots of rubber banding, lots of party issues.
A lot of party issues. Yeah.
And party disconnecting after every match.
Yeah.
For no reason.
That's the next thing that I need to be fixed, like the lobby timer. The lobbies are good. Thank you. But can we get the party disbanding fixed? Because it's been fixed like 6 times in patch notes, and it still sucks.
Right. The party disbands, and all of us have to restart the game.
Yeah. Over and
The whole
over and
game.
over again. It sucks.
There was a point where between the 3 of us, every game one of us had to restart.
It was
our
literally
game.
like 10 times in a row.
Yeah.
After every game restart, it's like, all right. And then it would take forever to actually get loaded in back into the party.
Yeah.
So that was definitely frustrating with this patch. But just let's get that figured out. Let's get that fixed. But okay, moving on. Nancy's poisoned claws got the nerf. It went from what was 5, 10, 15 seconds and stackable. It was a stackable perk with that poison effect on victims. Now it's 2, 5, and 8 seconds and not stackable. And I was huge change, like extremely noticeable. I still fucking hate that perk. It still makes me mad. I don't get why it's a perk. Any poison based perk that doesn't involve getting poison, I think is just stupid.
Yeah.
But it's nerfed enough where I won't cry about it anymore.
Yeah. I played Nancy. I've been trying to get her level 3 ability forever now. But yeah, the description is a slight poison effect. Before that was not slight.
No,
Man.
it was horrible.
Yeah. Now it does enough. It's all right.
Yeah, like it's still brutal. Like the effects of it are so brutal. You can't get through a damn doorway or run into shit, when you hit it. But it's so much less time now and not stacking that it's like, okay.
Right. I'm seeing less Nancy's use it.
For sure.
Maybe a way to, I don't know, bring it back into the rotation is maybe you have to collect the poison powder.
Yes.
For it to be used, and you can adjust it, and you can add some more time to it because you had to go out of your way to get the poison. You have to go get more.
Yeah. Like rubber legs.
Yeah.
Like rubber legs is still a great perk, but it requires hitting a poison cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you obviously can't just throw a goddamn poison cloud onto Nancy, but get just something that make her go to the powder tables. Make her, instead of having it, which I don't even get why you use the fucking powder to bring back your ability as it is.
I agree.
So just have it apply to poison claws. Just have it coincide with it. Why not?
Right. Yeah. And then you can boost the amount of time again, not back to where it was, but
well, honestly, if you make people go and use a limited, like if it's limited poison or limited powder at the tables, then yeah, go ahead, make it 5, 10, 15. I don't care.
There is. So you run a Nancy and a Sissy, you're both using those poisons, you're in trouble. You'll never see a Nancy and a Sissy together.
Yeah. Well, then I'm cool with 5, 10, and 15 then. But
right.
Yeah, I just don't get why they gave Nancy a little bit of everything.
They did.
It's a little weird.
Traps, can close crawl spaces, has an ability.
Yeah, has her visual ability and then still has poison claws, and it's like, Jesus Christ, how much does she need?
She got a fat
Huh? That was the worst fix of the entire game, is that they fixed her clipping dress so her ass doesn't pop out anymore.
I know.
I will never play her again.
Yeah, I thought about going through PlayStation, saying my card got hacked, refund that. I never playing that again.
Yeah, but yeah, she'll probably. I don't know. I feel like Nancy's already kind of fallen out of meta.
Oh, for sure.
She's all right.
She's at Family House,
because you really have to Family House, but you have to really pick between Cook and Nancy, in my opinion. You can't have 2 old ass people unless you have a very good third. You don't want 2 slow pokes running around. So you really have to pick between Nancy and Cook is never going to get beaten. Cook's a go.
No, you need Cook on every map. Nancy, the only map that really makes sense for her is Family House.
Yep.
And then you need a stud, fired up wireframe hitchhiker.
Yeah, to shut that. Be the speedy.
Yeah, so no Leatherface.
Yeah.
That and you need Cook on Family House.
Yeah, if Leatherface was still required, Nancy could never be used.
Nope.
You couldn't do it.
No.
At least not against good players.
I mean, I guess you could run Cook, Leatherface, Nancy on Family House and just trap the main gaps and have a good Cook being able to listen.
You'd still get rushed.
Yeah.
You'd still get rushed for sure. You need a really good Leatherface, and even then.
Yeah, Leatherface would have to kill at least one in the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be tough to shut people down.
Yeah.
Insubordinate and Trillish. Moving on. This is the big one that everyone is either, mostly pissed about that I've seen. At least the most vocal ones are pissed about it. That's the Choose Flight change. Choose Flight, if you didn't know, it had 3 stacks where if you ran out of stamina, it would fully replenish your stamina bar all the way up. Now they changed it where it's only a single charge. You can only use Choose Flight one time. And at level 1, it's 50% of your stamina comes back. Level 2, 75%. Level 3, 100%. Now that's a fat nerf.
Yeah.
That's 2 whole charges, 2 full bars of stamina gone. It's still a useful perk.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find value out of it. The problem is Choose Flight with Scout being the way it is. You got to nerf Scout. You got it. Like with Choose Flight, I think that the change in and of itself is good. I think that's like right where it needs to be. But you got to nerf Scout.
Mm-hmm.
You got to nerf Scout, probably nerf Wireframe. And then you have things like, Easily Tuckered Out got a nerf. And it did all right, I guess. I don't know. The only one that really used Easily Tuckered Out is some Hitchies, but really Johnny. Like that's the butterfly tech right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, you gotta fire it up. Wireframe, Scout, those perks need to get a look at now because if you have a Hitchy on you in the basement without 3 stacks of Choose Flight, you're gonna be gone pretty quick.
Yep.
If you want to kick the gen at Family House and run to the end of the driveway and you're not Julie, good luck.
I mean, yeah, that barn location, impossible unless you're Julie. But I mean, even the front location, I was Anna. I had a decent amount of endurance and I didn't make it one time. I made it right to the end.
Yeah.
And I couldn't make it.
Yeah, it's
tough.
Yeah, for sure. You would have to.
Obviously, it should be tougher for victims.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to straight sprint out. But like I said, if you're combining that nerf with where Scout currently is, especially like Scout Leatherfaces running violent and hysterical strength, you get caught, you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
And now the odds of you getting caught have gone up tremendously.
Right.
So Scout for sure is going to need a nerf. I don't even know I would probably make it like 10, 15, 20% when it comes to the value of how much faster you run.
Mm-hmm.
And then potentially make it even where you do less damage than you do now with it.
Yeah.
Because, it's the meta perk. Everyone's running it. Every family member's running it, except for like some Leatherfaces.
I'm not running it.
On like Hitchy?
Yeah.
Yeah, you suck. You're a bad Hitchy. Like every cook's got it. And honestly, like, because then the counter argument to it is that playing Cook without Scout is a miserable experience.
Correct.
So
Correct.
maybe you nerf because you can't just nerf the perk for some characters.
Right.
But I don't even think Leatherface should be able to have it.
Agreed.
He
already has infinite stamina when he's sprinting, chainsaw sprinting.
Yeah.
Yes, it does take skill to have that fluttering finger like that. It takes skill, but yeah, Leatherface shouldn't have it.
Yeah, especially with the Choose Flight nerf.
Yes.
Yeah, because he gonna get you. He's gonna get you. So I don't think Leatherface should even have it at all. And I think where it hurts the most, it's not even so much on having it on Hitchhiker. It's the wireframe combo with it and fired up. Because you hit one gap with wireframe and you're through it faster.
Your stamina was empty. It's full.
Yeah, with fired up, it's all the way back up. It's seriously a busted build. The whole thing's busted, and it's going to need a serious rework. And they already said that, like, hey, any perk, this is what Matt said. He said, any perk that you see being used every game, we're looking at it. So those are being looked at. I'm just saying, Choose Flight nerf, it came first.
Yeah.
And that's, hey, quit tanking these victims, huh?
Yeah. Another victim nerf, another family buff.
Even though the biggest buff that has happened in this game happened with the grapple change.
Yep.
But Insubordinate and Churlish, we still need to make some adjustments here. And another nerf. Another nerf here for the victims. Bomb Squad. Bomb Squad change. First of all, it was told to us that it would be 3 charges. Instead of being, you can use it as much as you want. We were told it was 3 charges, but it's actually, you get 4 charges of Bomb Squad.
At level 3, yeah.
Yeah. And then you also only get a 50% dismantle speed increase versus it was 80% before. So now it's only 50%, and you don't get any speed bonus for level 1 and 2 on it. So a pretty significant nerf. Here's what I'll say about it. I thought that was going to be disgusting. I thought it was going to be horrible. I never used all 4 charges. In all my hours of playing Connie and having Bomb Squad on, I never used all 4 charges in a game.
Yeah, we when we end up being as family, you know, we run quick match. But if our party of 3 gets to run family, we usually end up running OG3.
Yeah.
And in some way. And usually our hitchhiker is pretty good at then resetting the traps. But still, I don't think they're using all their triggers, all their charges.
There's probably scenarios. There are scenarios where it could happen, like family house and trapping the stairs. You might use it more than 4 times there. You might want to use it more than 4 times.
Right.
But most of the time, if you're just dismantling a trap, you're doing whatever you did. You're doing the fuse. You know, you're doing it and you're done.
You pick the gate that you're on before they realize that you've disabled the trap.
Yeah. Like usually you won't need more than 4 charges to pull that off.
Right.
I don't get me wrong. It can happen. I don't even give a shit about the charges. Personally, like if you want to make it unlimited, I'm more than okay with that. But what I'm saying, I thought that was going to be a brutal experience playing Victim, and I never used all 4. What is more noticeable is that dismantle speed change. It does take that 30% longer now to disable a trap. This is about right. Like that's what it should be. I actually wish it wouldn't be any faster at all. If you make it unlimited charges, no speed boost at all. But that is way better than you can't just do it in chase anymore.
Right.
Like it takes just long enough where it is significant.
Yeah. I haven't played a Victim that runs Bomb Squad, so I don't have a Victim's perspective on it. But like I said, as family.
What a noob. You don't play objectives.
Excuse me.
You just run out windows, don't you?
It works.
Yeah, it's a good distraction.
But yeah, from the family side, I've seen the same character do it a couple times, and I assume they still have at least 2 or 3 more charges, or 1 or 2 more charges after that. So
yeah, I don't know. I think the only place where it could actually affect you as a team would be at Family House. That map in general, it's gonna be a challenge no matter what.
Yeah,
and I think we've all come to just accept that. I actually like playing there as Victim now because I know how hard it's going to be. There's just something way more satisfying about escaping Family House than any other map.
Yeah.
Like, suck it. You couldn't even get us at Family House? You must be trash. So, yeah, I don't know. I like playing there, but it is just kind of expected that you're good chance you're going to lose there.
Yeah.
So,
and it's okay to lose.
Yeah.
It's okay to lose in a video game.
Yeah. That's part of the fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it happens.
Unless it's against us.
Yeah, and then I don't want to lose.
I don't want to lose.
So Bomb Squad's a lot closer to where like it should be. It's better than I thought it was going to be for sure. The only thing, yeah, because the bone scraps being limited,
right?
But God, the odds, I don't know how many traps you disable in a game,
right?
Well, here's one thing I'll say about Bomb Squad. This is a little bit of a different discussion, but they did confirm that Nancy's traps are not supposed to be affected by Bomb Squad. They still are at this time. They still are. When that change happens, Bomb Squad's gonna it's not nearly as useful as it was.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It seems like it still has value and is worth being in your build depending on the map you're playing or who you're going against. Obviously, they only really affect Hitchy's traps. So,
right.
I don't know. We'll see as time goes on. We'll see how big that one is, but it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Okay, just a couple more things here. Leatherface changes. To me, this was other than the lobby timer, this is my favorite part of the update. I actually enjoyed on both sides, I will say. Leatherface now, his instant start is actually very close to instant. You whip that thing on, there's no overhead animation anymore. You are basically, you get it on and you're going. And that is so much more. Honest to God, that is the most fun I've had playing Leatherface in so long. And it just adds this whole other element of gameplay that you just could not do before where you're walking around, you're being stealthy, and then you just rip that thing on. And you can actually scare people. That is, and I love that as a victim too.
It's scary.
It's scary. You actually have to think about where that dude is and whether or not he's going to rip a chainsaw on you.
Right. The only thing that we wish is that if Leatherface's chainsaw is off, he should have little to no proximity.
Yeah. Or I've been saying is have something that is basically like Insidious and Dead by Daylight, where if you were standing still without the saw off,
yep,
your proximity will fade away.
Yeah.
And then if you're like standing in a dark corner, you could just rip that thing on and go. I understand that's going to lead to some kills that you would think are unfair or whatever, but come on. How scary would that be?
Yeah.
It would lead to so many fun jump scares, and yeah, you're going to die sometimes, but I just think that would be so much more of a fun gameplay experience on both sides. The fear of maybe he's there. Mm-hmm. Like that's in the back of your mind at all times. And that's just, is not there anymore. It hasn't been there since the tech test. Nobody's scared to play anymore. That would definitely bring it back.
And combining it though with like the faster barricade dismantling, like that's scary as a victim. You go over that barricade and you hear him chopping it down right behind you. You gotta go. Yeah, you can heal, but that's about all you can do. You gotta go, dude.
If you can even have a chance to heal, like that's another thing. Destroying obstacles, it's 2 seconds. It was 6 seconds, I think, and now it's 4 seconds to destroy an obstacle and get through it. And that huge difference.
Yes,
like you say 2 seconds out loud, you're like, that ain't nothing. Nah, it's 33% faster, and it is very noticeable. It's a huge change, and I think it was the right change. I enjoy that. Not to mention, I mean, you're destroying obstacles at gas station. And you know how long it takes.
There were games where, I mean, I'm not the worst Leatherface in the world, but I ain't the best Leatherface in the world. I'm about average. I mean, I wouldn't have all the obstacles destroyed, and someone would already be, rush meta. Yeah. They'd be out the battery side.
Yeah. You're slowing down the rush a little bit. You're staying on somebody. And that's actually what the choose flight change did too. Yeah. That slowed down the rush meta a little bit. I've noticed that as well. So there's pros and cons to it. It's just more fun to play Leatherface now. Mm-hmm. You're on it. You're moving faster. You're keeping things going. And with the instant start, I was having so much fun just playing stupid with victims. We call it the Nooba Booba tech.
True.
If you just are playing dumb, and it's like you don't know how to turn your chainsaw on.
Got your default skin on.
Yeah. Eventually, somebody's going to be like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. No, man, I'm going to try to door slam, or I'm going to pick this lock right in front of him. And then, boom, bam, and you're just on him. It is so funny. The reactions are great. That's actually the one time I'm like, man, if I could hear proximity right now, that'd be great.
Proximity chat from victims.
Yeah. It's not realistic. You don't want to do that. Overall, it's not going to help the game if to add proximity chat, but there would be some hilarious moments that come as a result of it. And that would be it. And, I mean, I was going for this. I want to door slam them. I'm going to set them up. I'm going to door slam them. And then I'm going to rip my chainsaw on. And then I can hit them before they even get moving again. Now I'm running Tenderizer with this build, with this stealthy like build. So you're getting all the damage from a door slam, and then you're ripping that chainsaw on and doing the damage on top of like big swings. Hilarious. Yeah. It's great. That's the fun that you can have with this.
Right. This game is not competitive. It's fun. It's a fun game.
Right.
We've heard that from Gun. This is a fun game. So have fun.
Yeah. This is my recommendation for any stealthy Leatherface out there. Run big swings, Tenderizer, and Master Key. And then get them to latch the doors on you. All right? You can play a little dumb. Be quiet. Get them to latch doors on you. Instantly barge it. Knock them on their ass. Get the Tenderizer value. You hurt them with Tenderizer. And then you whip the chainsaw on and you get the damage too.
Yep.
Oh, that is so satisfying. Yeah. It's so good. It's so good. I recommend it. But that's kind of things you could not do before. That's a whole other... It's changing the meta too, because if you are running perks like that to be a stealthy build, now the scout shit's falling out of meta. And I just think that's nice.
Yeah.
It's spicing up gameplay. Yeah. Overall, this update, I think it is more positives than negatives. It's going the right direction. You can play the game. Anytime you queue in, you can actually load into a match and play a game. And the Leatherface changes and making him just stealthier and being able to play as him different than before rather than just running all over the chainsaw. That is wonderful. I love those changes. Some of the nerfs, although they need to coincide with other nerfs, they're also going the right direction. The only thing where I'm like really questioning the entire implementation of it is the grapple change. To me, I feel like it could be abused like crazy. I've seen it abused. I've abused it. I've seen how bad it can be. So I just think that might need an adjustment, not to completely revert, but just to make it where the actual animations are faster, and the second you win an encounter, you're done.
Yeah,
you did it.
I've seen people on the Reddit and the forums.
The forums, yeah,
on the Reddit. I'm a victim main. I would like to know other victim mains' thoughts on the grapple changes, and it's kind of split. Revert it. But they want it like it's like 60% revert it. Obviously, anyone can say I'm a victim main, revert it. But
yeah.
But there are quite a few people, self-proclaimed victim mains, that want it completely reverted.
Yeah, it's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, exactly.
Somewhere in the middle. I understand how it could be annoying to die in one little slap, like an instant kill when you have full health. But if now it's just too far the other way. So just make the animations way faster. The second you win an encounter, you're done. Moving on. I seriously still think the instant kills would be rare. Like you basically would have to accidentally engage with a close encounter while in front of two people and not realize it. And that's the risk you take with doing it.
Right. We went from you being the last alive, getting a close encounter, and instantly dying to, from the second you activate that close encounter, the game's over in 15 seconds.
Yeah.
To now you're the last one alive, you activate a close encounter. There's still 40 minutes of game left to be played because you just keep getting that health and stamina back.
Yeah. And I could see how the times where it's really annoying is if you're going for like a backstab.
Yeah.
You're trying to stab them in the back, or you're trying to stab Grandpa. That's one that pisses me off. I'm trying to stab Grandpa. I'm not even looking at you. Now I got into a close encounter with you. So whether it's a different button, like literally just change the key mapping. God, dude, there are so many things in this game where I'm like, just why is it the same button?
Right.
You're killing me.
Yeah. You go up to stab Grandpa. The prompt stab Grandpa shows up. Hitchy's behind you, and you turn around.
Yeah.
Like I got the prompt to stab Grandpa, not to enter a close encounter or backstab.
Yeah. Can we just change the button? I kind of understand where if you're trying to backstab somebody, that is a risk that they'll turn in time.
Right.
So maybe that should stay the same button. That one doesn't happen nearly as often though. I think you're kind of setting. Most people are like trying to circle with somebody and stab them in the back. That's when they get caught slipping. That's when they actually activate a close encounter. That I understand. Like, come on, you know what you're doing. You know that's a risk you're taking there. But the Grandpa stab one is so freaking annoying. Like I had no intention of getting into a grapple with you, sir. I just want to stab your dad.
I want to get that XP.
I want to stab your pops.
Die. I want to take him down with me.
Yeah, at the very least, you're gonna kill me right now. At least let me take old man with me. Why do you I don't want to grapple with you. So that one, change the button or something for it, so that doesn't happen anymore. But hey, that's it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. That was a long video discussing this patch, but it was a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have thoughts that probably differ from ours. You might hate the whole thing.
Just remember, we're quick match mates. We play both.
Please, before you're never making this far. If you're already shitting on us, you're already shitting on us.
Yeah.
But for the love of God, we play both sides, and I actually prefer playing victim. Believe it or not. But I also don't like getting the easiest escape in the world.
Right.
I want to be scared. I like being scared.
Yeah.
I don't like when I'm scared of victims. You know how it is. But all right, that's the wrap of this video. If you enjoyed, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. And of course, as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.